Now, if you thought the pleas from Tory grandees last week for Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss to stop the blue-on-blue infighting were going to prove to fall on deaf ears, well, you'd be absolutely spot on. Watching the debate last night between those two candidates, it was more heated, more edifying, I would say, than any of the hustings and the events that had gone before. It seems that those two candidates cannot be in a room without tearing chunks off each other. And not just that, but trashing their own party's record in government. Liz Truss said that the economic policy that we've seen in recent years was leaving us on course for a recession. That's her assessment of the government's economic policy, the government that she served in. Now, of course, she's trying to pin the blame on Rishi Sunak, who until a couple of weeks ago was the Chancellor. But when you hear senior Tories, people who are vying to be the next Conservative leader and our next Prime Minister, talking in those terms about their own party's record in government, I wonder what you make of it. I wonder if this whole debate, this whole, and I'll use that word again, unedifying spectacle of prominent figures in the Conservative Party absolutely laying into each other is going to come back to haunt the Tories at the next election. Because if there's a cliche in Westminster that does often prove to ring true, it's that divided parties don't win elections. Now, both candidates have said that once this contest is over, the party will have to come back together. But when you see some of the rhetoric that is being thrown around, it's very difficult to see how that's going to happen. Let me give you an example. After last night's debate, which I say pretty heated, pretty aggressive on the part of both candidates, Rishi Sunak particularly, a spokesman for Liz Truss said this: Rishi Sunak has tonight proven he is not fit for office. His aggressive mansplaining and shouty private school behaviour is desperate, unbecoming and a gift to Labour. Now, that's not a clash about policy. These aren't disagreements about principles and ideology. These are deeply personal attacks about candidates' behaviour and candidates' background in this case. What is this going to do to the Conservative Party? And if you're a Tory member, if you're a Tory voter, maybe you're listening to this and you're a Tory MP, how worried are you about what you're seeing? If you're a floating voter, perhaps you voted Tory last time round, but you're not sure, maybe you backed Boris Johnson, but you're not sure about these two. What does the tone of this debate make you think? And how does it influence how you're likely to vote at the next general election? Let's have a little listen to just exactly one of those clashes that led a Liz Truss spokesman to claim Rishi Sunak was not fit for office. This is a good example of the sort of debate, the style of debate, the quality of debate that we witnessed last night.
So I'm not putting it on the never, never. I would start paying it down in 3 years.
That's simply not right. You promised almost £40 billion of unfunded tax cuts, £40 billion more borrowing.
In our manifesto.
Hang on, Faisal.
I think that is what...
Liz, you just mentioned 3 countries. Do you know what mortgage rates are in the US at the moment?
I'm sorry, this is scaremongering.
Canada actually has...
Project Fear.
Liz, I remember the referendum campaign. And there were only one of us who was on the side of Remain and Project Fear, and it was you, not me.
And Liz Truss was asked this morning about the tone of that debate. Here's what she had to say.
Well, I feel that this is a contest that is incredibly important. It's about the future direction of Britain. It's about, do we want to be bold? Do we want to lead in the world? Do we want to attract the investment into towns and cities across the country? That's the positive case I'm putting across.
Yeah, and do you appreciate Nadine Dorries' support?
Look, I have a fantastic range of supporters from all parts of the Conservative Party. And what is true about all of them is they've worked with me in government. They know I'm somebody who does what I say I'll do. I don't break my promises and I get things done. And that is what Britain needs.
Was Rishi Sunak mansplaining?
Look, I'm not going to criticise the other candidate in this race. I'm putting forward a positive case about what we need to change in Britain to unleash the potential of people across this country. I want to support those who go out to work, the self-employed, those who run small businesses, those who get things done to drive our country forward. Those are the people I back.
Liz Truss speaking there. A prominent supporter of hers, Nadine Dorries, in the last day or so, has also been laying into Rishi Sunak, pointing out that Liz Truss will be wearing £4.50 earrings from Claire Accessories, apparently, while travelling the country, while Rishi Sunak visits Teesside wearing Prada shoes worth £450 and sported a £3,500 bespoke suit as he prepared for a leadership vote. Is this the sort of debate, the issues that you really want the Conservative Party to be discussing as they choose our next Prime Minister? Does it matter whether Rishi Sunak wore £450 shoes? And should a cabinet minister like Nadine Dorries know better? Or perhaps you think all's fair in a leadership contest, the stakes are high, this is the next Prime Minister we're talking about. If they can't cope with a bit of back and forth, a bit of criticism, a bit of stick, then they're not the right person for the job. How damaging is this going to be for the Tory party, and what have you made of the state so far?